Have you ever found yourself questioning the authenticity of the moon landing? It's a question that has intrigued and baffled minds for over half a century. Despite the overwhelming scientific evidence, there is an enduring belief in the moon landing hoax. But why do such beliefs persist? In the heart of this seemingly implausible theory, we often find mistrust in government, a powerful factor fueling skepticism. The moon landing, a major scientific and technological achievement, occurred during a time of intense political rivalry. This context, combined with a general suspicion towards authority, has led some to question the narrative. Moreover, the power of conspiracy theories cannot be underestimated. They offer alternative narratives that are often compelling, controversial, and exciting. They challenge our perception of reality and make us question what we think we know. So here we are, probing the truth, asking the hard questions. So, did we really land on the moon, or was it all an elaborate ruse? Let's venture forth and find out. To answer that, we need to journey back to the 1960s, to the heart of the space race. This was an era marked by the clash of two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, locked in a Cold War, a battle not of bullets and bombs, but of ideologies. Democracy versus communism, capitalism versus socialism, freedom versus control. The stakes were high, and the battlefield was the whole world, and beyond. The space race was a monumental chess game, not just of scientific breakthroughs, but of ideological supremacy. As each side strived to outdo the other, the stakes rose higher and higher. The Soviet Union took an early lead, sending the first man-made object, Sputnik, into space, and then the first human, Yuri Gagarin. The United States, not to be outdone, had its sights set on a more distant frontier. It was in this climate that President John F. Kennedy made a daring declaration in 1961. He challenged the nation, declaring that the United States would land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. This was more than a mission statement. It was a gauntlet thrown at the feet of the Soviet Union. The challenge was monumental. The technology needed was still in its infancy, and the task was fraught with danger. But it was a challenge that the United States was determined to meet. NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was given the responsibility, and the Apollo program was born. The Apollo program was more than just a scientific mission. It was a symbol of American ingenuity, of human perseverance, of the limitless potential of mankind when faced with the seemingly impossible. It was a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the brink of nuclear annihilation. The stage was set for one of humanity's greatest achievements, or its greatest deception. Scene script. Let's scrutinize the evidence supporting the moon landing. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the moon rocks. When the Apollo astronauts returned from their missions, they didn't come back empty-handed. They brought back a total of 842 pounds of lunar material, including soil and rocks. These moon rocks are unlike any rocks found here on Earth. They contain isotopes that are not found naturally on our planet, confirming they are extraterrestrial. Beyond the physical evidence, we can't forget about the experiments that the Apollo missions left on the lunar surface. The Lunar Laser Ranging Experiment, for instance, continues to provide data even today. This experiment involves shooting lasers from Earth at retroreflectors left on the moon by the Apollo missions. The time it takes for the laser beam to return to Earth helps us measure the distance between our planet and the moon with astonishing precision. Then there's the human aspect to consider. Over 400,000 people worked on the Apollo project. These individuals, from engineers to astronauts, dedicated years of their lives to making the moon landing a reality. To suggest that all these people could maintain a conspiracy of silence for over 50 years strains credibility. Moreover, the moon landing was a global event watched by millions worldwide. The Soviet Union, America's Cold War adversary, tracked the Apollo missions closely. If the moon landing were a hoax, it's unlikely the Soviets would have stayed silent about it. So we have moon rocks that are unlike anything on Earth. Experiments left on the lunar surface that continue to provide data, and a vast workforce who worked tirelessly on the Apollo project. And let's not forget, the entire world was watching. But if the evidence is so compelling, why do the doubts persist? Now we delve into the claims of the moon landing hoax theorists. As we journey further into the cosmos of conspiracy, we encounter some intriguing theories. Hoax believers have pointed out a number of perceived anomalies in the Apollo missions, raising questions that have sparked endless debates. Firstly, let's consider the flag. The iconic image of Buzz Aldrin planting the American flag on the moon's surface is etched in our collective memory. However, hoax theorists argue that this flag appears to be waving, as if fluttering in the wind. But wait a minute, isn't the moon a vacuum, devoid of any atmosphere that could possibly cause the flag to flap? Then there's the curious case of the missing stars. The photos taken during the Apollo missions depict a stark lunar landscape against a pitch-black sky. Yet despite the lack of atmospheric interference, not a single star is visible in any of these images. This, the hoax theorists contend, is a glaring omission that suggests a staged environment. There are other anomalies that hoax theorists have brought up. Some question the perfect preservation of the astronauts' footprints on the dusty lunar surface. Others point out the apparent inconsistencies in the shadows cast by the lunar module, suggesting multiple light sources that hint at a studio setup. These claims, while thought-provoking, have been debunked by experts. For instance, the flag's apparent waving can be explained by the fact that the flag was fastened to a horizontal bar, and the astronauts had to twist it to get it into the ground, causing the flag to ripple. The absence of stars, on the other hand, can be attributed to the camera settings that were adjusted for the brightly lit lunar surface. These are just a few of the many arguments put forward by hoax theorists. While they may seem compelling at first glance, a closer examination reveals a different story. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these theories and the scientific explanations that debunk them. These claims, while thought-provoking, have been debunked by experts. What do experts say about these hoax claims? When it comes to debunking conspiracy theories, we often lean on the wisdom of experts. After all, they're the ones with the knowledge, the experience, and the understanding to navigate through the noise. So let's take a look at what they have to say about these moon landing hoax claims. Firstly, one of the most notorious claims is that the American flag, planted by Neil Armstrong, appears to be waving in the moon's airless environment. This, the hoax theorists say, is a clear sign of a studio setup. But scientists explain that this is a classic misunderstanding. The flag was held up by a horizontal rod to give it the appearance of flying in the windless environment. When astronauts were planting it, they rotated it back and forth to better penetrate the lunar soil, which of course made the flag ripple, an effect that would last longer in the moon's low-gravity environment than it would on Earth. Another point of contention is the absence of stars in the moon landing photos. Critics argue that the star-studded cosmos should have been clearly visible in the pictures. However, experts clarify that the stars were simply too dim to show up in the photos. The lunar surface, bathed in full sunlight, was so brightly lit that it outshone the stars in the sky. The camera settings needed to photograph the brightly lit lunar landscape weren't sensitive enough to capture the relatively dim stars as well. These are just two examples of how scientific reasoning can put these hoax theories to rest. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing in sensational claims, especially when they challenge our understanding of the world. But when we delve deeper, guided by a scientific approach, we can uncover the truth hidden beneath the layers of misinformation. So, while the hoax theories are intriguing, they don't hold up against scientific scrutiny. So, where does this leave us on the moon landing? Well, we've journeyed through the maze of claims and counterclaims, the supposed evidence, and the debunking of those claims. We've explored the origins of the moon landing hoax theory and the array of evidence supporting the fact that the moon landing indeed took place. We've learned that while it's easy to get swept up in the allure of conspiracy theories, it's essential to approach such theories with a critical and discerning eye. The moon landing was a feat of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. The evidence supporting its occurrence is overwhelming and robust, debunking the hoax claims with scientific reasoning and factual accuracy. In the face of skepticism, the truth persists. And that truth is, we did land on the moon. In the end, the moon landing stands as a testament to human achievement, despite the persistent shadow of conspiracy theories.